Hello, Fightful Faithful. Welcome to the Tuesday show. It's a show on Tuesdays. And we review NXT, which is a show that is also on Tuesdays, though it is not nearly as good as this show. I am Kate, and this is Alex, and how's it going? No? I'm all out of sorts. I'm all out of sorts.
I'm Kate. This is the NXT Sour Grabs post show for September 17th. My goodness. Get in your super chats. Get in your humper chats. I have working internet. I have a microphone that I've had for months, thanks to the good people at Beacon, that is up and running. All thanks to the SGSs and my actual dear Papa Paul Elizabeth coming in to help me get my tech set up. Fantastic stuff. Fantastic stuff from my parents, who should be sponsoring this stream basically at this point for what they've done in my apartment. But get in your super chats, get in your humper chats. We've got restaurant puns. Yes. If you want to jump into those, but before we dive into the show, we're also going to remind you to subscribe to FightfulSelect.com. Oh my goodness, so much going on FightfulSelect.com, Alex. I can't even tell you, but I will tell you a little bit, because that's what you do when you try and promote a paid service. But for just the best $5 in the biz, okay?
For sure.
Get all the scoops that anyone could ever want in the whole wide world. Tons of contract news. Sheamus getting re-signed. That went up there today. More details on this Warner deal. My goodness, coming down the pike. Very, very exciting time to be a wrestling fan. Lots of great stuff there. But you had your NXT early notes that went up from Corey Brennan early today. I'm sure that's going to continue as we head into the CW era of things. But man, oh man, this was after yesterday's episode of Raw that I think can only be described as an episode. We certainly had an episode of NXT to follow it up.
Yep, we sure did.
We sure did.
I sent a little thing to you and Luis in the group chat about halfway through the show, saying that I have been putting about as much effort into following what's going on as they have obviously put into writing and executing the show. So don't expect any blistering analysis from this guy over here tonight. It's just, they are running out the clock on USA. There's not a lot of stuff that they're trying to do right now. Beyond, obviously the top stuff, but there's not a lot of compelling storylines or the matches aren't laid out in a way that are we've come to expect really good in-ring work, lots of time given to matches, major stories being driven by the in-ring work, and that's just not what we're doing right now. Again, I think it's just we're just holding a lot of that back until the C-dub. But they decided, you know what? We understand that we have not been doing any stories, real stories kind of on the show. So how about we put 6 weeks of storytelling into one night at a story that doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense, but so we'll talk
Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Alex, we have a special guest referee who has no stake in whether someone is a champion or not.
Well, that's entirely different.
And the losers.
That's entirely different.
It's such a there's a lot of things going on that right now that feel, to your point, very out of place, that aren't even booking related. I'm used to the booking decisions being what kind of drives us mad, but waiting out the clock is a good way to describe it, because it really just feels we're just... You got CM Punk and Randy Orton coming down your CW era, and right now they're we're going to give you 3 minutes for Jacy, Jayne, and Lola Vice. What is happening? So, let's talk.
We have the usual pleasantries up top from JDB Pringle. Says, amazing Alex, compassionate Kate, powerful Papa Paul Elizabeth, Jam Man, Mighty Meat, 2LT, 2 Quit, Sisters, Luis, and all the SGS. What was that?
That's a good takeaway. What was that is a good takeaway of things. Wish I could tell you.
Adelia Chamberlain is a 20-month member. of the Fightful main roster, says, here to show some love for Alex, Kate, and the SGS. Didn't watch NXT tonight, but sounds like I didn't miss much. I mean, there was a major development for a title match in 2 weeks that didn't need to happen. Also, you missed two-time NBA All-Star for the Indiana Pacers, Tyrese Halliburton, and that is exactly how you have to introduce him every time you talk about him, with all of those things. And then also mention that he won a gold medal. I don't believe he actually played in any of the games. So, which is okay. He made fun of it himself. Like, he posted a picture to Instagram after they won the gold, holding up his gold medal and says, when you don't do nothing on the group project but still get an A. So he knows.
I think he's been very good when he's been on. Like, he's you can tell he's a fan of it because he understands kind of what's happening here.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk. There were things that happened. The Tony D thing certainly happened.
Yeah, it's a thing that's happened.
But we're going to dive into all of it.
Yeah. Orion Ben says, seriously, that show just happened? Good gravy. Hiya, Prime Alex and Bangs on point. I'm going to need Grand Slam to hurry up and get here. Shining lights tonight were Ren and Big Ange. Match? Nah, none hit. That's kind of the way I feel about the matches tonight. Like, nothing was like, oh, wow, that was usually we get one where we're like, that was really, really great. And It just didn't, it wasn't like the performers, like, were bad. It was just like, the matches were laid out to be bland.
There's a really big difference in wrestling between something like everything not going wrong and things going right. Like, that's just the nature, I feel like, of wrestling. Like, you can have matches where nothing goes wrong, but that doesn't make it a good or a great match. It definitely does make it a great match. It might make it a good match. Yeah. So it was one of those, and they're just, like, Lola and Jacy getting 3 minutes? Like, what are we doing? There was just, like, a lot of that, too, of CM Punk and Roxanne talking for 15 minutes, so a bunch of stuff feeling like it got cut way too short. To mostly not do anything. Like, it was uneventful at best.
Jambeard says, since Kate is no longer a leggy onion blonde, what is she now as a redhead? I nominate Guns Out Ginger. Not my best work. Why couldn't you be a leggy redhead tomato?
I mean, I'll take it. If I wear, like, a chenille sweater, I'll be fuzzy tomato, like back in the day.
Look at that tomato over there. I feel like that's something that Tony D'Angelo would call.
I mean, tomatoes don't have onions, right? Just get to be.
But they do have. They have layers. But they have skin. But like inside, it's like a masterwork of like mazes and seeds and stuff. If you slice it one way, it looks entirely different than if you slice it. You turn it and slice it the other way, which is a very so you really can't tell what you're I'm reaching for here. I don't.
No, I like it. I'm an enigma. I'm in. I have a leggy red tomato.
Of course you are. You know what you are also? You're a comedian because last night you said that if we added an extra believe me. It made sense how we got to this point. I'm not going to go into it right now, but it made sense how we got to this point. But you said if we add an extra P to PF Chang's, it becomes Pff Chang's.
Look,
and
come for the scoops, stay for the talk about PF Chang's. That's what I always say.
Fell out of my chair. I've never laughed so hard at anything on any show I've ever been on.
I broke you. And it was a rare W for me.
I still can't. So
I was like, Chang's.
In honor of Chang's, we're doing restaurant puns all night. Corporatized restaurant puns. They can be fast food. They can be fast casual. They can be your sit-down variety.
Sure.
But yes, this one from Louisville, I didn't pay for it, but PF Bangs. That's you.
See,
right there.
That's me.
So we've already got 31.
My goodness.
Puns. We've already got 31 puns in under 10 minutes. This feels like it might approach the triple digits. We haven't gotten one of those in a long time, so keep going, people. Thank you. They start out with the top title contract signing, which they never do right out of the box. So you knew something was going to happen to like now after what we had tonight, there's going to be a surprise tag team match where these two guys will have to coexist or some dumb thing. But like you knew it wasn't going to end because they always do these in the last segment of the show, not the first.
Sure.
So the big deal was that they came out and talked trash to one another, and the rubes in the audience kept chanting that for Ethan to put on some clothes, even though he's currently fully dressed in a suit. And he points this out to them, and they still keep chanting it because they're rubes.
I love when you call everybody rubes.
It's very rubish behavior. I will say that.
If they were sitting in a square, this would be a Rubik's Cube. Like, that's how much they were being rubes in this.
Mm-hmm.
I get, and it's a good sign for Joe Hendry that it has followed Ethan Page this long.
Yeah.
Let's move on, people. Let's move on.
Mm-hmm.
Ethan Page retained.
Yep.
I'm Team Ethan. He dresses impeccably well, actually.
Right. Mm-hmm.
He's a fashionista of this brand, of all of wrestling, really, and he was fully dressed.
Yeah.
So.
It's
Florida. How many more clothes do you want people to put on?
honestly, like a parka? How many
Yeah, like
layers
parka.
does the man have to wear?
Seems rude. Be so sweaty and gross.
I know it's weird, but anyway, eventually, he kicks. They both stand up and come around in the front of the table, with Ava standing behind it. And then Ethan Page kicks Trick in the gut and does the ego's edge onto the table. And then they leave. And the big deal, according to Vic Joseph, is that, well, nobody even signed the contract book. Well, how can they even have the match in 2 weeks? The contract hasn't been signed. Like, there are many, 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 many title matches that don't even have a contract signing on screen. So just do it backstage. Or, also, beyond that, there's a whole week of TV next week before the week that this is. The title match is. So you could just do the segment over next week. Like, we are going to get both of these people's names on this contract by the end of tonight. That I can promise you, says Ava. And you'll never guess who it is who decides that you know what? I'll handle this. You would be forgiven to think it would be CM Punk. That is what I thought when they were like, I'm going to do this. It's going to be very difficult to get these two men to sign their names on a piece of paper, but I'm going to try. And then I'm like, hey, how about this? I'll do it, says CM Punk. Because that seems like something he would do. But no, it's actually a two-time NBA All-Star for the Indiana Pacers, Tyrese Halliburton, who also won a gold medal.
Yeah.
And he's decided that he's going to do that. He'll be the one who does that.
So, I heard from Corey a couple of notes. One of them was that the internal name of the show was Straight Edge Down the Middle. And I felt like this could have been called Blue Balls All Night. Because we got a contract signing that got delayed until the end. And we had CM Punk come out for 15 minutes to not get to an announcement. To have that happen at the end. The pacing of this show was awful tonight. Like, it was really, really bad. Punk also ran long. I'm heard from Corey. He didn't even have to tell me that one. I deduced that one all by myself with my own brain head. But this was a contract signing to open and close the show. It's just that's not a good formula for a show.
No,
that's not good. That's bad.
It isn't.
Also, Tyrese, no offense to him, but like if you're trying to like whip guys into shape to sign a contract, like maybe someone with like a little more muscle. Like, no offense to him.
He didn't whip them into shape. He just stood there and they signed the contract with nobody. He didn't tell them to do it and they had to do it.
Pull was like, I don't.
Oh, he's a big star.
Cool.
He's a big time star, Kate. He's a 2-time All-Star, and he won a gold medal. These men will obviously do whatever he tells them because he's a man and therefore not Ava, who they don't listen to.
Right,
Maybe. Maybe, is that implied? I'm not sure. Some kind of latent sexism implied by the 60-year-old white men who write this show?
I mean, if Sexy Red was back, they'd also be signing this, so...
That's true. That is true.
So
you know what that is? That's just celebrity worship, though.
It is.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, I was confused about what his pull or vested interest was in getting this contract signed.
He's tall. Okay.
He's very tall. He's an NBA player.
He's tall.
He seems cool.
He's tall. Louisville, it gives us our first pun. Rubesy Tuesday. So we'll talk more about the Halliburton thing. Javon is like, hey, can I get on the card for St. Louis? Just anywhere. I would like just have a match, says Javon Evans to Ava. It's like, I'll take it under advisement. And immediately after he said that, Randy Orton tweeted out, you want to know who your opponent is, kid? I'll see you in St. Louis. And an hour and a half later, Vic Joseph is, look what the Viper just tweeted, Book! Just now on social media. Like, if you're going to have Randy tweet the thing out and have everybody all over Twitter who runs any kind of wrestling adjacent account go, looks like Javon Evans is facing Randy Orton. And an hour and a half, you have your commentator treat it like it's breaking news that they're telling you for the first time. Figure out a way to dovetail those things a little better so it doesn't look like you're behind like wrestling news with 3Zs.com.
As someone that works for a website that does this, we would be roasted. Like, we would be roasted if we picked up on this hours later. Jeremy Lambert would be out of a job. No, I'm just kidding. This all night, there are things that we criticize every week. Most of them are creative, right? This week there was stuff that we don't normally have to kind of dig into, and there was a lot of that. And one of them was stuff like this and the pacing. Like, the layout of this show was weird. Like, it felt like they give us this product, and whether or not we like it, we sit here and talk about, right? But today it felt like they weren't in control of the thing that they give us. Like, it was a little weird. And that might just be because they're winding these few weeks up and they're trying to get things aligned before all that. Like, that happens on wrestling shows, right? On Wednesday of last week, we just saw them be like, Bryan Danielson can't defend his title at Grand Slam, and Nigel McGuinness be like, aha, but he can, kind of. Not his title, but he could wrestle. Like, there are things that get clunky on wrestling shows. So, but that was a great example of something that, like, normally they're like, so-and-so just tweeted, and it was seconds beforehand. It felt like this was a scheduled Randy Orton tweet that was in the wrong time zone or something. Like, things got thrown off. It's a little bit awkward.
Yes,
a little clunky.
it does. He's still using TweetDeck. So Javon Evans versus Randy Orton at St. Louis will be a lot of fun.
Cool. Yeah.
They did announce and acknowledge that we are moving venues to a venue that is 1/4 the size of the original venue, which is fine. But the problem is that you have then if you're going to say this is fine, it's just they didn't sell enough tickets for this particular one. That's fine. Then you also have to say that about the other company when that happens to them.
Sure.
Or you can be ha 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 point and laugh at both companies. You have to choose to be on the side of attendance numbers really in the toilet, on both sides, or attendance doesn't really matter on both sides. That's my only deal, and then I'm gonna be straight edge down the middle. I'm gonna be very
I appreciate that about you. Just be normal. You are not directly offended by or impacted by how many people tune into a show or B attend a show. So just
right, exactly. It doesn't really matter.
Enough with the like tarped nonsense.
Yeah.
But you're right. If you are gonna be that big of a dweeb, be a consistent dweeb.
Yeah. And yes, of course, we are all waiting for exactly how Javon Evans will leap directly into
an RKO.
An RKO. I'm hoping he leaps into two of them somehow, like once early enough, and is able to like bounce out of the ring because he is bouncy, and then leaps into it in a different way for the loss.
He's really special, and I think it's awesome that they're having him work with Randy. Like, there's something about that combo that I was like, that's a good one. That's a good one. And I also kind of like that Javon Evans was like, get me on this card. I have a couple wins, and I'm very fun. Like, let's go. Let's make matches like that. I don't love how many matches got made through Twitter when you have Shawn Michaels, Ava, and Ava's 2 assistants. Like, that's a lot for that X app to be doing.
Yes. Lyra, Valkyria, and Tatum Paxley are still friends somehow, and they defeat Wendy, Choo, and Rosemary. I don't know what we're doing with Wendy Choo right now. Please tell me why she is the way she is. Also, please book her to win something, because she lost to Jordan Grace, but then choked her out afterwards. Like, you teamed her up with a demon from the other nether realm, and all they do is lose. This is Bray Wyatt in 2016. Why are we doing this? Like, whatever. Don't also like, oh, look at that. Isn't that sweet book? Lyra, Valkyria, and Tatum Paxley together again. They've missed each other so. No, they friggin' hated each other when Lyra got drafted. Tatum turned on her. They were friendly, not friends, friendly-ish for about 5 minutes. For the longest time, Tatum wanted to be friends with Lyra, and Lyra was like, you're creeping me out. And then for a second, Lyra was like, okay, you're kind of creeping me out, but I guess you're okay. And then Lyra lost the title, and Tatum turned on her. They were this right now, currently, this weird 3-week run they are on right now represents the longest they have ever been able to stand the sight of each other in a row.
Just the slightest bit of creative work. Like, and they've really given Lyra nothing but being anybody's friend as a character. It sucks. It sucks, because, like, she's very good in ring. We've never had a complaint about that. There were some character concerns that you and I had, not, like, of her actual character, like, as a human being in life. Like, her in-show character, where it just felt like some things weren't necessarily clicking for her and things like that, and they called her up. And then she was Becky's friend, and then she's other people's friends at a trio, and she's also a crazy woman's friend here. So, like, let Lyra have a personality outside of being other people's friends. And you had this really cool thing going with Tatum. Like, why is she so excited that Lyra's back? She was supposed to be obsessed with the title, not with Lyra. Yeah. Like, that was the whole thing, was Lyra had what she wanted.
It was.
Right? And she wanted to be her friend just to get close to it. So now what are we doing? I
don't know.
Wendy Choo's phenomenal. Like, I don't know how many more times we can say it. I like the partnership. We still don't have an explanation as to why she turned this way. If we're supposed to just accept that she's become her own sleep paralysis demon, it still feels a little directionless, but I'm kind of giving it breathing room, because I'm at least intrigued enough by it to see where it goes a little bit.
Yeah, well, we will see. I don't know, like, Lyra, like, helping Tatum get one over on Wendy after she was Wendy's friend for 5 minutes, and then Wendy turned on her. I don't know what we're doing with Lyra. Like, she's on the main roster, she's Natty's friend, and Natty is now, they're doing the thing with, PF Chang's up on the main roster, so I don't know what where we're going with that on the main roster, but it feels like this kind of felt like it kind of wrapped everything up neat and tidy. Like the heels didn't get their heat back after they lost. So it feels like the babyfaces won, and I don't know why Lyra needs to pull double duty. I don't know why anybody needs to pull double duty, but why Lyra specifically doesn't make a whole lot of sense. We also found tonight that Charlie Dempsey has grown out a terrible... God, what year was it that Triple H had this facial hair? The mutton chops that connect to the handlebar mustache, but no fuzz on the chin. That's not a great look for most people, and unfortunately for Charlie Dempsey, he fits into most people.
People in this
It
case,
does not look good on him or most people.
No, it does not.
But yeah,
it's a tough one.
Yeah,
tough
but
one.
anyway, he is talking up Tavion Heights and Miles Bourne for their big tag match later tonight. Ren is also there, and she has her own version of talking them up as well. What now? Now, see, Kate, you're not allowed to like have. Oh, I got a brand new studio, and everything's fine in my brand new studio. It's all painted and nice, and I got new equipment, a brand new microphone. You're not allowed to like, oh, look at my cool new studio. I got good internet now, and then be like, bye. I mean, honestly, like this. Maybe you're going to talk all that trash about your awesome studio. How about you have the stones to back it up? Cause I need you on the stream, Kate, because we have to have a therapy session about Tony D now. So I need you on the stream. I don't know what's going on. What's happening?
Am I back?
You're back. You're back.
Okay. I'm back.
Where did you go?
I was trying to queue up an ad for us. It is very easy on the system to accidentally leave the entire studio. So it's not even my internet's fault. It's just me.
All right.
It's brutal. It's brutal.
What ad were you going to queue up?
Well, now I don't want to say.
But do you need me to give you the cue that, like, I obviously said something that made you think, oh, let's do this ad, but I don't know what I said, so I could, like, try and say it again if you, like, give me subtle hints.
No, let's just have our therapy session. I'm sure I'll back into another amazing segue. It is my gift.
Get these ads! As we have said prior, we are unhinged. We are so unhinged that there were never hinges. We are a hallway. There are
never been a door.
It's never been a door. We are unhinged. We are a hallway. Kate.
Alex.
So, last week, after Hammerstone lost to Obafemi, Tony D walked up to him and was like, What gives? I paid you a bunch of money. Take him out. And I was like, yeah, he's a monster. Like, no, I'm not going to. It's like, it doesn't matter. I gave you a bunch of money. I paid you. You do the job. Okay, I'll tell you what you're going to do. You're going to go to Ava and you're going to ask for a rematch. No, I'm not. Look at me. I'm 6 feet tall, 265 pounds, carved out of solid granite. I am petrified of that man. He's going to break me in half. And Tony D's like, fine, maybe then I won't have to face you, but maybe I'll beat up you. And so then Tony D storms off last week. And so tonight he's got his match with Hammerstone. And maybe you're not going to pay me back the money that I gave you that you didn't actually do the job for. Maybe I'll just beat it out of you, says Tony D as he walks to the ring with such purpose. Oh, that Tony D, he's such a He's throughout the entire match, he's reconsidering himself. But if I'm being tossed around by this very chiseled man, I am reconsidering all of my thoughts, and hopes, and dreams. My reason for being has now been called into question. I will just simply take a count-out loss rather than try to face this guy, leaving all of my stablemates very confused by this. But later in the night, I will have a confessional with them that comes out of the blue. Hey, so boss, What was that all about? You take an account out. What happened there? You're gonna go get a rematch with him, right? No, I'm not. You're gonna go get a rematch with Oba then, right? No, I'm not gonna do that. Why? Why, boss? I mean, I don't know. I mean, come on, tell us why. I'm scared. All right, I'm scared. I'm afraid. I'm terrified. I'm anxious. Other things that nervous and other things that mean I'm very scared. And I'm just gonna blurt all of this out to you 20 minutes after we saw the first chapter of this story. Here is chapter 2. And then I'm scared. That's right. And I'm gonna walk away. Later we're gonna have chapter 3 where I'm now in a suit. And Angel's gonna talk to me one-on-one. And she's gonna give me a pep talk. And I am going to say that I really want to have another shot at Obafemi. And then we're like, we'll get you some specialized training, she says. And I say, all right. And then we agree that I will have a rematch with Obafemi. And all of this makes me think that Obafemi is needed on the main roster immediately. And we want to have a major deal where Tony D beats him on the St. Louis episode or something. Because normally, like, listen, the first time we ever heard there might be a photograph of Von Wagner's childhood skull was in late January, and that story lasted until November or something. Okay, they don't tell stories quickly. They told this one in a night. A story like this where Tony D starts doubting himself because he lost to Oba, and he starts doubting himself so much that he doesn't even want to face the guy he paid to beat up Oba, who took a bad loss to Oba. He doesn't even want to fight that guy. And then, usually it would take 4, 5, 6 weeks of his family trying to get him to tell them what's happening. And then finally, after 6 weeks, then he would do the "I'm scared, all right" moment. And then 3 more weeks would go by, and he wouldn't show up, and they'd show backstage Luca and Stax and Ange talking, what are we gonna do about Big Tone? I don't know. It would be that same chapter told over and over again. And finally, maybe 4 months after the first thing we started doubting himself, that's when Big Ange would go to him and say, what are you? Snap out of it. You're a good man. I know you're scared, but it doesn't matter because we're always gonna love you. Luca believes in you, Stax believes in you, and I believe in you. And you gotta get back out there and take down Obafemi. And then Tony D would say, okay. And then 6 weeks after that, he'd have the match. They decided to do all of that in one night. And I feel like even though we complain about how long they take to tell stories, maybe there's a happy medium between 9 months and one night.
Well, I don't like that they took a mobster and turned it into an after-school special. When he was like, what if I lose again? And Ange was like, you will have lost through the fear. Then you lose. Who cares? Yeah. I was like, why? What on earth is this episode of Saved by the Bell? Because that was not that far off from I'm so excited, so scared from Jesse Spano. Like when he was scared. The acting I thought was actually really good, both from Tony D and Ange, but like this story,
Here is why everybody thought that I was going to be super angry about Tony D walking out on Hammerstone and taking the count-out loss. And I was like, no, because I fully trust Tony D to make this probably way too long storyline work. Because I assumed we were getting at least a month of him wrestling, no pun intended, yes pun intended, with his anxiety about this. From whatever, like he can't admit even to his friends that he's scared. He keeps taking matches and then losing or getting distracted or like figuring out a way to make himself lose. All this stuff. I thought that I would trust Tony D to be able to communicate all of that. I love watching Tony D act. And I was like, I'm going to get to watch him act his way out of what is probably going to be a dog shit story, but he's going to be able to try and act his way out of it, and I was really looking forward to that. I didn't think I would watch him act his way out of the story in one night with like 4 scenes. Like, hey, Hammerstone, I paid you money to take out that guy. You do it. Okay, if you're not going to do it, then I'm going to take you out. Then the match, which was him acting the whole way through it. Then I'm scared, all right? That's 3. And then 4 is him being alone in the dark when, like, wearing a red suit for some reason, where Ange comes and says, you're a good man. We all look up to you. And so what if you lose? If you lose, you're fine because we still love you. And that's what matters. What matters is this family. And he did a good job with all of it. But it just felt like you edited the movie down to a YouTube clip. And you just took all the scenes without anything that connected them and put them back to back to back to back.
It's also so weird to me that his only weapon was Alex Hammerstone. He didn't think to hire anybody else. Like, consistently, this mob family has had too few of people, but now he's like, well, if it's not Hammerstone, I can't think of another large male wrestler that might be around in the entire wrestling world. Like, that seems weird. But what I do also, this is something that, like, this story probably should have been multiple months long because of that. Like, you could have Tony D doing everything he can to look tough, but to avoid this rematch with Obafemi that he needs so badly.
Like, there was a really great opportunity in a longer storyline with Stax being able to come up to him first and be like, hey, boss, listen, I mean, I had that match with Obafemi. He knocked the stuffing out of me. So, like, I get it if you're scared. What do you mean scared? I ain't scared of nothing.
Scared,
like, he's trying to, like, he's putting on a show of tamping all of that down. Like, that's a cool thing where he's like, no, I didn't mean nothing by it, boss. I promise. You better not. You ever say that again, I swear to God, I'll drop you off a bridge. Like, have him play trying to tamp all that down because I know he'd nail it. We got all of this in one night in about, I'm going to guess, 8 minutes of screen time. When I know he's got a whole really cool long story, and I do wonder, because I am me, if this was the plan all along, but the plan was for it to take 6 months, and that's why we're doing this now. We're doing it now for whatever reason. They want Oba on the main roster, whatever it is that they want to do with this, but they said we're doing it now, and that's what it felt like to me.
It would also have been cool if there was, like, another rival for that Obafemi had. Like, Wesley's heel now. But if you did something where Tony D kept running into people and they were like, no, boss, you'll be fine. No, boss, you'll be fine. But there was someone else who had seen Oba and was like, I get why you're scared, man. Like, I get it, because I faced that same fire or whatever. Like, if there was some kind of moment where Tony D had, I felt like that could be really cool. But, like, somebody, for example, who could say, like, I understand why you are nervous that you're going to get snapped in half. But I'll say this. If you're nervous that you're not going to be snapping people in half.
Blue Chew, main event performance, main event confidence, and a main event deal. Go to BlueChew.com and use the code FIGHTFUL, and you will get Blue Chew with their first shipment for free. Shipment? Yeah, I said shipment. No waiting in line at the pharmacy, no awkward doctor's visits. You take their online exam, and then if approved, it's shipped straight to your door. That's right. Same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in a chewable form and much more affordable. How can you pass up on this? How can you pass up on that confidence? How can you pass up on that performance? How can you pass up on making your sex life better? That's what Blue Chew is here to do. You don't have to have a problem to use Blue Chew. Just get that additional performance. BlueChew.com and the code FIGHTFUL.
Your father sends in, greetings, Team KLX, Council, Beard, Sisters, Lieutenant Colonel Photo, and Supermod Luis. Proud of our leggy Ginger and her honorary brothers, Juggernaut JW of Pringle.
My dad rules. He's the whole reason that I'm streaming with any sort of comfort, any sort of consistency. All of the screw-ups have been me accidentally leaving. I'm sure my brother rules too, but my parents have come up big the past week. So they rule.
Jambeard says, and if you need help keeping it going, unlike Kate's internet, Blue Chew is for you, code Fightful.
It's true. It's true.
And Meat Norma says, another small sack of monies for Kate's internet. And then Jambeard says, is this a bit by Kate, or is this the return of the potato net? No, it's not a bit, because a bit would be intentional. It's just Kate being Kate.
I don't think it's my internet today. I think it's just my functionality of my.
It's your clumsy finger.
It is my clumsy finger. Mm-hmm. It's very easy to accidentally swipe out of an entire stream, which is one of StreamYard's not best features.
Yes, it makes it too easy. Yes, Coy Stallings has sent in that Ricochet versus Mordos tomorrow. That's going to hit. That's so exciting. Yes, it is.
Yes.
It was. It was heavily implied we were getting that, but God bless AEW for just straight up telling us ahead of time and not being like, well, you know what's going to happen? It is official right now.
I'm going to be there.
Yes, I know.
I got to be there for the tomorrow and Grand Slam.
Yeah, I know. Mm-hmm.
Say hi if you're there.
JW Pringle says this was Saved by the Bell Sopranos on Fast Forward.
Saved by the Bell Sopranos on Fast Forward is pretty accurate.
Yeah.
I also thought Ange did great with this. Like she was really good.
She killed it.
Yeah.
She killed it. She's got acting chops too.
Yeah,
you know what
nice.
I mean? This was really well done by both of them. It just felt you know what? This is like, I don't know. This feels like an angle they would have done on Home Improvement. Was the older boy like the quarterback of the football team? Whatever his name was. There's the older boy, then there's JTT, and then there's whatever the kid was. The
Brad
little one.
was the oldest.
Mm-hmm.
JTT was the youngest. I forget his name. Who was the middle kid?
No. The middle kid was JTT. Then there was the reason you think he's the middle kid is because he was taller than JTT by the time he was 8, and JTT was like 11. You know what I mean? So he played soccer.
Fair enough.
Anyway, so the thing stands. Like, let's say Brad plays goalie or whatever for a game, and he lets like 6 goals go past him, and he's like, I don't want to do this anymore, Dad. I'm letting my team down. The only person you're letting down is yourself. Unless you really don't want to do this anymore, and if so, your mom and I are still going to love you. But if you get back out there, I know you're going to stop every goal that comes by you, gall darn it, because I love you so much.
No, there would have to be a talk with Wilson in between.
Wilson would be the one to tell Tim the Toolman Taylor how to say that to his... I don't know how to talk to my son. You know, I'm a man and all that, so emotions are beyond me. Can you half-a-face man wearing a fishing hat? Can you tell me what I should say to my child?
He was very wise. It was Brad, Mark, and Zach. They figured it out. The chat has us.
There we go. Zach? It wasn't Zach.
That's what the chat said.
It wasn't Zach. I don't know. Yes, as Luis says, so Tony D gets 2 weeks of story, but Chase U gets 2 friggin' years of story?
Randy.
Randy was, yes, Randy. There you go. Randy.
Yeah, it is funny, like, the Chase U one took so long, and we're going to talk about that in a second, and this felt, like, super speeded. We don't have any Goldilockses on the show. There is nothing that feels just right here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey, Zach Wentz, speaking of Zach, comes out and cuts a promo about Wesley. He shows footage of not the NXT parking lot, unless NXT has a sister warehouse in Dayton, Ohio. But Trey Miguel getting into his car and Wesley running up and, I don't know, beating him up where we couldn't see what happened because he didn't actually beat him up. But it was implied that he beat him up. And he's like, I'm gonna beat you up, just like you beat up our friend Trey in our Chicago street fight in Chicago, which is where Chicago street fights usually take place. I'm gonna beat you up so bad. And so that was it. Really, that was it. I didn't think it was anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there wasn't a ton that happened on this one. Like, this story has been one of the better built ones, but this didn't do much.
And then Wes cut a promo from his bedroom about how, hey, it's fine. I went back to Ohio, got to see some old friends, ha 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 ha, and I'm gonna beat you, Zach Wentz. So it is brave for each man to say that they think they will be the victor in the street fight, but
That's never happened before.
it's never happened before. Thank you, Jambeard. The kids' names on the show were Brad, the oldest, JTT played Randy, and Mark was the youngest, who was played by a guy who had to take his parents to court because they basically stole his acting money. Yeah, you could get away with a lot of shit a while time ago, but not so much anymore. So
It's true.
on that one. Hey, Eddy Thorpe defeated Ashante the Adonis. Ashante the Adonis gave a rose to a plant, which is kind of a fun little thing to think of. But he gave a rose to a plant in the front row who was like, oh, this is so sweet. And then he decided he was going to look at her and blow her a kiss. And that was why he ended up losing the match. So Eddy Thorpe beat Ashante the Adonis, which is fine. But Eddy Thorpe was in prime position to be a top guy on this show. And he's having matches with guys who are just here to hit on ladies. Before that, I think he lost the feud with Lexis King. So, like, why are we should be doing more with Eddy Thorpe, because I hope you didn't put him over Dijak in that feud and do other things well with him. He got injured for a while, and now he got injured again, and now he's back and he's cleared. So, having moved on from Ashante the Adonis, can we have things for him to do that aren't this?
Yeah, I feel like he should be in contendership for at least one of the titles. Like, if him versus Oba could be really, really, really fun. Him versus Ethan would have been great, but him versus Trick would be, like, great, I think. There was a moment on commentary where Vic Joseph had said, like, Eddy Thorpe's essentially been the same guy since he got there. Meaning, like, essentially, in our terms, right? Like, he's stayed a face since he's been there. Like, he has not changed his motivations or anything. And Booker took exception to that and was like, are you saying he hasn't evolved? And Vic said, no, I just mean that he's been true to his roots. And he was like, oh, okay. As if he was calling a move, but Vic Joseph just gave him clarity. I don't know why, but that sent me. Absolutely sent me. One of the most unintentional funny things that I've heard in a very long time. Match is decent enough. When we said NXT was just kind of there, this is something that was just kind of there. Like, I'm very glad that we're still getting TV time from Eddy Thorpe because he's great, but he's, like, great. Like, they need to elevate him. Like, he's someone that feels like when he came in should have been closer to main roster ready than NXT ready. And now it feels like he's on the lower card or mid to lower card of NXT. But, like, he's been fantastic in his career for a while now. He should be, like, on the way up.
Right. I'm going to read some of these puns because they're too good.
Go for it.
Lieutenant Colonel Photo. This is actually from Mrs. Lieutenant Colonel Photo.
Mrs. We love her.
When you're here, your wrestling has more than one royal family.
That's very good.
Lieutenant Colonel Photo says Auntie Anna J's Pretzels.
Very nice.
Lieutenant Colonel Photo says the Golden Lovers Corral. And Lieutenant Colonel Photo says Longhorn Steakhouse of Black.
Very nice.
And Jambeard says, welcome to Applebeach. How may we take your order?
That's really good. I love it when it's our canon ones. It pops me huge.
Jambeard says AENW.
Very nice.
Luis Polito says just 5 guys.
Good one, Luis.
Knocked Out Films says Chuck E. Taylor's. Meat Norma says Taco Ting Bell. Burger King of the Ring. Penta El Cerro McDonald's.
That one feels slightly off.
Cerro McDonald's.
Good. Were they good?
Tom LaValle says International House of Torture Pancakes.
there's a lot going on with that one for me personally, emotionally, because I love pancakes, but I hate House of Torture, so that's a tough one. But well played.
Insert clever Tegan Knox pun says Tegan the Knox. Jack in the Box.
Tegan the Knox. Okay, I'll take it.
Chris Barrera says one Wingstop Angel. Ian R says Takeout Team 2000.
Very nice.
Chris Pereira says Raising Canes, Kanes. Lieutenant Colonel Photo says Cold Stone Steve Austin Creamery.
That's very good.
Cold Stone Steve Austin. Chris Pereira says, one Wingstop Angel. Lieutenant Colonel Photo says Cinnabron Breaker. Ian R says Snack Saber Jr.
Very nice, thank you.
Pieces says Jay Whitecastle. JW Pringle says Arby's. We've got the big meaty men slapping meat.
Very good.
Thank you. Keep them coming, you guys. This is great. We got so many of these. I'm going to read some as we go. Tyrese Halliburton is the one who shows up and says, "Hey, I think I will be the one to solve this problem. I'll get their signatures on this right away."
You mean gold medalist?
Gold medalist, two-time All-Star.
He's been very good the times we've seen him. Like, he gets what's going on.
I
enough
still
twerking?
am very, very upset that they did not build to an actual match between him and Jalen Brunson, because I think that would have been fun. But
That would have been cute, yeah.
we just got their little interaction. That was it. Hey, guess what's not fun? This Chase U story. Like Thea Hale getting to not be her normal self and be down to earth, and just be a regular, like having to like drop into some actual, being real and, having to talk serious about something, but the fact that the thing she is talking about is this ridiculous storyline. Hey, Ridge, I want to know that everybody said horrible things about you, but not us, because we saw the good in you, and we gave you a chance, and you took that, and you squandered it, and what you did to Mr. Chase, and what you did to Duke, I feel like I don't even know you anymore. I also wanted to call attention that it makes no sense why you even joined our college to begin with. The writers simply seem to have no idea what to do with you after they did that weird "you fake injured Ilya Dragunov" storyline, which was just there so they could write him off of TV for the month of January. Then you did this thing with Sean Spears that went nowhere, and you hit Joe Jacy in the back with a chair for no reason, and we thought it was a good idea to bring you in to our college. We thought we were riding high after that sexy co-eds calendar thing, and we thought, we just can't lose, so we took a chance on you, and look what happened.
I liked the line that she said about we didn't want to... It was something to the effect of, like, we didn't want to be the ones to have to turn around again and say you were right about him. Like, that I thought was good, of, like, we wanted to be the ones that believed in you and proved everybody else wrong. Because that feels like, stupid or not, that feels like the spirit of Chase U, right? So I like that line, and I like when we get to see her be something other than hyped up. Like, it's nice to see her sound like a person, and I think she needs more time in that side of her so that these can come across. She did all right with it, but I think there could be something really good if she gets more practice at sounding like how a human being speaks instead of doing like her Ultimate Warrior rope shake and just being hyped up at ringside all the time. Like, let her tap into this more, because there could be something really good and special there. And she's going to need that at some point if she's going to stand alone literally at any point in her career. She is very, very young, for real. And
right.
she's
for
got
sure.
a lot to grow into, but she, I think, does have a high ceiling and a bright future. And I would like to see maybe not such a downtrodden Thea Hale all the time, but, like, sounding like a human being is nice. Like, I appreciated that about this for sure.
She's sitting there with Riley, and Riley gets to do the second promo right afterwards, which is like, you took out Mr. Chase, you took out Duke, but I'm going to be the one to take you out. And I'm like, no, you're not. No, you're not. No, that's not a thing that's going to happen. So then Ridge later is like, hello, Ridge. I'm a reporter who's stationed backstage. She's not on camera. I believe I have the voice of Oni Lorcan, but I just I wanted to ask you, did you see what Chase you had to say?
Yeah, I saw it. I took out Duke. I took out Andre Chase. And now, Riley, I'm going to take you out too. 2 down, 1 to go.
And I want him to say 2 to go. Even though he's not actually going to have a match with Thea, like, destroying all 3 of them, I guess, would break her or something. But
yeah, break occur. I didn't like that Riley stole Duke's line that he said on Twitter, where he was like, I didn't want to be right. Or like, I was so mad that I was right. I was like, hey, Duke said that already.
Right.
I know you're on the same side of things, but you don't have to be a copycat.
Well, he was right about Ridge for longer than Duke was. He was the longest holdout on saying that Ridge was probably not a good dude. But he should have done something along the lines of, what makes me the most mad about all of this is I didn't trust my gut about you. I knew something felt wrong. I knew something felt wrong, and everybody else talked me into it. And you could even do a thing, like, honestly, I like the nuance of he's kind of pissed at the rest of them for letting this happen. You know what I mean? Like, these are my friends.
I called it from the beginning. Yep.
One of them is my professor. It's a very odd relationship. But these are my friends. And I was right about you being a piece of crap. And they told me, oh, no, he's fine. He's totally fine. So I, said, okay, I guess he is. And then you fooled me for about half a second. And now I realize that, blah, blah, blah. It could have been fun.
Did you not fight wrestling matches with your college professors? Is that not a thing you did?
No, I didn't. I
did junior and senior year.
Yeah, they were theater arts professors. They would have lasted about as long as CM Punk in a Royal Rumble. They would not have gone well for them.
Wouldn't have been great. Wouldn't have been great.
Yeah, anyway, so we're going to get I guess I didn't see this. Apparently Spears was watching Ridge say this thing. So,
I actually wouldn't hate him and the loose cannon being together, like the guy that goes too far and injuring people in the loose cannon as a group. Yeah, managed by Sean Spears. You could sell me on that.
Sean Spears taking Ridge Holland, who's just as I called him at one point, a sentient side of beef, and then and the Beej, who's now he's grown his crazy curly hair out so long he has to put it in a man bun, and the beard has just gotten completely out of hand.
He's becoming a Yeti.
He's becoming a Yeti. He's becoming a Yeti. So backstage they asked Kalani Jordan about something. I don't know. All I remember is that Maddie Rankowski ran up to her, Ren Sinclair, and was like, hey, so Charlie told me I'm supposed to do something big to make a name for myself, so this is me doing it. She slaps Kalani Jordan and runs away.
They ask Kalani about the Fatal Attraction trio.
Oh.
And how they said that Kalani is ducking them, and she said, I'm ducking them.
Oh, no,
other way around.
They also said their thing of Jada, Changs. Jada, if you wanted to find us, you could find us. You weren't actually looking to beat us up with a baseball bat last week. We're not intimidated by you at all. And Lola Vice, Changs, there's no chance.
Blue Chew, main event performance, main event confidence.
Can't.
If I had
I want to talk to you guys about our great partner at BetOnline AG. Yes, the place that lets you bet on pro wrestling. We've gotten our pro wrestling betting odds from them for years, well before we even worked with them. and we're going to tell you a little bit more about them. They got the earliest lines, the fastest payout, the industry best bonuses. They've been trusted for 25 plus years because of their safe and secure environment and their quick payouts. But you can bet on pro wrestling. How cool is that? If you think you know more than anybody, go ahead and look at those odds. It's the same ones you've seen on Fightful for years. You might see one that sticks out to you and you go, wait a second, there's no way that person's going to win. Why are they an underdog? Make yourself some money. BetOnline AG, and hey, it doesn't stop there. Whatever sports you want, they got you covered. Popular games like blackjack and roulette, Supernova, Skyward, all that stuff. BetOnline AG. Please bet responsibly and only bet what you can at BetOnline AG.
Why doesn't my mouse work now?
Oh, sure. It's
honestly, I think because I cleaned everything. Like now, my
blame
tweezers-
the mouse. It's always the mouse's fault.
I had such a cute segue, and now I don't even want to share.
You don't need. I was gonna say if I had to bet on whether or not I'm ever gonna say Chang's again, I would definitely do that.
You guys, if you're not in on the joke, you should subscribe to FightfulSelect.com and go watch because we're so funny.
Yes, you should all that stuff. So hey, Javon Evans and Cedric Alexander defeated the No Quarter Catch crew when Ren Sinclair was at ringside and Kalani Jordan ran out after her to chase her through the ring because she had been slapped by Ren Sinclair. This is the most fire I've seen out of Kalani Jordan ever in my life.
Yes.
She does not like being slapped.
No, and why would she? That's terrible.
She cares way more about that than being choked out by Wendy Choo. That, like, twice.
I mean, I wouldn't really want to mess with this version of Wendy Choo either. Move on. Because that girl she's a bit of a weirdo.
True.
Nice to see a little bit of life out of her. Ren Sinclair is absolutely hilarious. Like, I don't know where Ariana Grace has been.
Yeah.
But 6 seasons in a movie of those two. Any day of the week. Any day of the week.
I'm happy that we're doing some more with Cedric in NXT. He's a really, really great wrestler.
Yes.
At least twice. I heard it twice. Booker T referred to Japan as the Orient. Like he's an Agatha Christie novel. Like, the Orient? How many decades has it been since it's been common practice for people to refer to Japan as the Orient?
Other than learning...
Or China, or anywhere else.
Other than learning, like, where the extremely outdated phrase of Oriental came from.
Yeah.
Like the literal Orient. I don't think I've heard anybody use that phrase outside of my grandparents, and heard my grandparents say it 20 years before, like.
I mean,
I
remember in the 80s. I remember in the 80s in social studies class reading about Marco Polo leading an expedition to the Orient in my social studies textbook that was published in 1982. But perhaps not since have I heard anybody in earnest refer to it as such. I have no idea what he's doing, man. The fact that he did it once and then went back to the same well, like a minute and a half later, was like, I have no idea, man.
I don't know why he said it or doubled down on it. It's so weird how
he was talking about how that Tavion Heights went to Japan and learned a bunch of stuff, a bunch of new moves, how to take different moves, how to be tougher, how to control his breath differently, whatever. But he said, "Oh, that man Tavion Heights went to the Orient." I'm like,
those dojos in the Orient.
Yeah.
Very, very weird. Very, very weird.
Yeah, it was weird. But Javon Evans got the victory because of the thing that I said. So he will be facing Randy Orton.
Yeah.
On that St. Louis show, which will be good.
Yeah, I wasn't mad about this. This was one of the stronger things of the night. He's so great, and I will say we have a lot of criticisms from week to week, but I feel like they understand what they have in Obafemi, and I feel like they understand what they have in Joanne Evans, and it's important that those two things be true. Like,
yes,
because those are, I mean, the phrase generational talent is thrown around way too much in my opinion, but like, true with them. Like there's nobody like them in the generation that they're in right now, and I think that's really cool.
Jambeard has a question. I'm assuming for some kind of jukebox. Question for Kate. What are we calling your new voice impression? The one you did last week with the glottal fry and the California girl. That
the
one.
Valley girl, the Kardashian wannabe.
Yeah. That one.
Yeah.
What if he were going to request you to say something in that?
I think Kardashian wannabe, because that's where it comes from. For me and my sister being dweebs about it, we're just like,
okay, good.
I'm literally so tired today. It's very like Kourtney Kardashian. Is this even organic? 2 days in a row I've broken Pulowski, and I'll take it. Let's go. I'm reviewing the rest of NXT right now. Yeah, it's like one of yeah. NYEEAH. Yeah. Put some respect on my name. It's like all in this.
Tom LaValle says, rails, where we're going, we don't need rails. We're off them, and yeah, so there we go.
We were never on them.
We're never on them. So, Brooks Jensen defeated Dion Lennox because Brooks Jensen was the beach about to go to ringside, and he's walking out there, and Sean Spears just hanging out, his arm in a sling, wearing a suit jacket, a double-vested purple suit jacket with black lapels as a vest because he tore the sleeves off of it. He's not wearing a shirt underneath it. But he's sitting there wearing this particular getup and a sling and just sitting in the back and goes, "Good luck out there, Brooks." "Well, hey, you want to come out? You want to come out with me? I'm doing this." "Really? You want me? You want me at ringside?" "Well, yeah. Come on, let's do this." "All right, let's go." And then he just gets to stand there for a while, and Brooks Jensen beats the hell out of Dion Lennox until he looks over and picks up Dion Lennox's Clark Kent glasses that he left on the ground. And he picks them up and he puts them on, and he's like, "Oh, I'm blind. Hey, everybody, look at me. I'm wearing glasses." And then Dion Lennox decides to beat him up some. But then when he hits the beach drops them, and they land in the corner right over by Sean Spears, who reaches to pick them up while standing on the ground outside the ring. And then Dion Lennox walks up and puts his foot on Sean Spears' hand and says, "Not today!" about 8 times. And waiting for the beach to come up behind him so he can turn around and walk into a DDT and lose.
The chat hitting 2 things on the nose. The first is Sean Spears got invited by the beach because he was double-breast. Double-breasted suit today.
Double breast in the beach.
Return.
It's a double breast vest. So it's right there. It's right there.
Yeah. We ride again, which is fantastic. The other thing is too many props and accessories in WWE right now. We got beads, beaded bracelets. The Ulafala has like tremendous amount of cultural significance, so that's fine.
Right.
But like the glasses, there's just like a lot going on in the accessories department that I feel like is overkill at the moment.
Well, Jesse Ozog says, as a person who has had glasses since I was 5 years old and cried the first time I put glasses on because I would, for the first time, see boo. yes, boo to this angle. However, Dion Lennox wears glasses because they are an accessory to like do shorthand for his character that his character is smart. Because he wrestles without glasses. Like it is a thing that they've done. It's a prop that they've given him to make sure the rubes know what kind of character he is. It is incredibly dumb, but it is also incredibly insensitive to people like Jacy, who need glasses to see.
Well, and to smart people with contacts. You know what I mean?
I don't know who that would be on this particular show.
A girl whose mouse is sticking to the keyboard. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, it's weird because it feels like they're going for something extremely specific with Lennox, and it doesn't feel like he's necessarily like popping out as a character that is getting to show a lot. But this is fine. I feel for our dear Beach, like that angle was so hot. We talked about this at the last PLE.
It was.
It was such a hot angle, and he was doing so much great character work around it. It feels like they cooled it way the hell off. I hope
they did.
They heat it back up. Because he's good at this. Like, he's good at specifically this, of, like, the loose cannon aspect. Him with Ridge Holland could be a fun thing if Sean Spears is building a stable. But this was, like, such a really high-profiled and hot angle that they had going, and they just really kind of threw it off a cliff, which is frustrating.
Yeah. Yeah. Also frustrating, Lola Vice got 3 minutes versus Jacy Jayne. She won with a spinning back fist. They're still doing the fatal attraction, toxic influence. They're still coming out and doing the weird, like, we walk down to the end of the ramp, and then one by one we shake our butts, and then like, or we mention they're just doing a thing. They're doing a thing. It does not feel like these are people. It feels like they are doing a thing.
Yeah,
and
it's a little bit a caricature of themselves.
Yes.
And honestly, I think Jacy Jayne is pretty good at it.
Well,
but I don't
yeah,
think
she's had years of experience.
Well, yes. But I also don't think she should have to do it, is my point. Like,
I believe when she first started doing that for Toxic Attraction, Jasmine Nix was in the 6th grade. Like, that's how long it feels like Jacy Jayne has been here doing the same damn character.
Yeah. I liked the segment earlier. God bless Jada Parker, man. She's like, she has been watching a lot of Kevin Owens. I feel as though, like, she kind of said, like, we're not all hunky dory, me and you, Lola Vice. We just have the same enemy right now. Earlier in the night in a promo, and I liked that. I like it when characters make efforts to do that, because WW Creative does not always, i.e. Lyra and Tatum, right?
I.e. Lola Vice and literally everybody else.
Yeah. She was a little less version, like she was not...
right, because she's got somebody in her sights.
Yes.
She's
nice
focused fighter Lola Vice.
Yeah.
But also, did you happen to notice who was the one who came up behind her and had one line tonight?
Oh, who was it?
It was Brindley Reese. But they've given Brindley Reese extensions, and they've, like, waved her hair up. So she just looks like all the other ones back there. Like, I really enjoyed her, like, over-peppy personal trainer character.
Thea Hale's
like,
older sister. Yeah.
Yes, Thea Hale's older sister. But, like, she wasn't going to win any titles with that character, but it was effective. It was a fun gimmick. She played it really well. She was always really committed to the backstage stuff. And now they've just made her blonde number 8.
Yeah, they really... there is an extreme lack of differentiation in the aesthetic of many of the women that are there. And that was something that was a strength of theirs for a long time, honestly.
Yeah.
It was like, Gigi and Jacy and Mandy didn't look like a lot of the
Right.
other people when they were running stuff, and you have a sleep demon paralysis there, and
Right.
they had a really good mix of that, and now it's like they have some outlandish people and then a ton of blonde college athletes,
Right.
like that they need to differentiate. So that is a backward step for sure in general, and I would say with Brindley Reese too.
Yeah.
Because it's good when you stand out, especially in such a chaotic environment like this.
Right. Luis says, not sure if it was the intention. I would wager it wasn't. But Lola's dancing entrance with the face full of rage had me howling, LMFAO.
Yeah, she was still doing like the sexy I shake my butt thing, but she was also like angry. It kind of felt like it gave me the same, it's very different, but it gave me the same energy as when Jeff Hardy stopped to dance to go save his brother from the ring. Like, you were just like, that's not your body is not communicating what's going on in the situation right now a little bit.
Yeah.
But it was refreshing to not see her be smiley, happy, goofy baby face. Like, her having somebody to target was much better. The fact that it only went 3 minutes sucks. And the fact that we got CM Punk talking about nothing for 15 minutes. It's always the women's matches that get cut. This happened on Raw. Or it happened on SmackDown, right? With Michin.
Yeah.
Like, it's always, they're just like, we need more time, so it's the women's matches that get cut by default. It couldn't be everybody's 10-minute fucking entrance, could it?
No.
Like,
no.
couldn't be that.
Nope.
CM Punk couldn't have named 3 less people. Like, come on.
Yeah. We got the 3 gals, the fatal influencers, ganging up on Lola afterwards, and Jada Parker running down to make the save. And boy, howdy, these gals were having a real rough time getting out of the ring when they were supposed to.
Yeah.
Like, Fallon got hung up on the middle rope, and so Jada had to toss her ass. And then Jasmine Nix, with all the consonants, got hung up on the top rope, and then Jada had to dump her extra. And it just became like, okay, so let's work on that all next week. You know what I mean? Like, I remember when I was doing athletics in high school, whatever we were really bad at during the game, that was the thing we worked on obsessively for all next week of practice. So I wonder if that'll be a thing that they work on with these gals this next week.
You know what's crazy? I saw something on Threads from Lance Storm that was about how he was like, I would rather do a 20-minute match than a pull-apart brawl any day of the week. He was saying, like, those are so much harder than anybody gives them credit for.
Yeah.
Like, it's really, really tricky. And it's not like you do them every week, like, unless you're in AEW.
Right.
You do them a lot, because there are so many pull-apart brawls. So hopefully that is something they work on, because that one did look really rough. That was brutal.
And then, of course, afterwards, Lola Vice hates Jada Parker for coming down and helping her, saving her from getting beat to death by 3 women.
Correct.
Because she was taking a lot of punishment from that. Like, she was getting kicked in the gut and in the face and everything. She was getting the hell beat out of her. And Jada Parker coming down to save her is the only thing that happened. Here's the other thing I have to worry about. I have to ask Lola Vice. Was it really worth it turning babyface if all the babyfaces who pretend to be your friend in the locker room don't do shit to help you out? Like, where's Brindley Reese and Kendall and Cassie and
I think you
Carly
know what you're
and
signing up for as a face in WWE. Like, you are losing all of your friends if you
it's tough.
have no friends.
Well, we're early, so we're gonna. I'm doing things out of order here. Jambeard, I sent in a jukebox that we're gonna do right now because it's about this thing. Jambeard says, in a conversation, we have the Callie Nya girl explaining the fatal influence girls to Linder and how they are different from Toxic Attraction.
Well, yeah.
So these are not the same girls from before with the Mandy Rose?
They're literally
different now?
so different, except for one of them who's exactly the same. She's
Okay, but so they have 2 different ones?
But she's the ringleader now. And Mandy Rose is off getting married and showing her, like, her beautiful self on the internet. and making a ton of money.
So one of
doing
them,
that.
one of them got promoted. Was it the Jage? Did the Jage
was
get
not-
promoted?
She's literally so injured. It's such a bummer. But Jacy
Oh,
Jayne,
that's terrible for her.
who is a veteran around these parts.
Yes, she is. She's been here since 1984.
She has. And Fallon Henley, who's literally a horse girl. She's so
The
cute.
horse girls now.
The
She's with the
horse
toxic
girl?
ladies now.
She is. And we love that for her. We
You
are
know who
so
I think would
happy
be
she's
perfect for
growing
this?
and thriving.
You know who I think would be perfect for this? I assume she is definitely in NXT because I have not seen her on the main roster. Kiana James, is she in this? Because her personality feels like she would just fit perfectly here.
She was called up to the main roster and then has been listed in
Since
active
when? I have
since
not
her
actually
injury.
seen any. She's injured as well. What is it? Everybody getting injured? I hope they have
think
good health
wrestling's
insurance.
Just really dangerous, and you need to understand that. But the obvious and logical follow-up was to put a rookie with several consonants in her name, who's had like
Yes.
5 matches in her
Yes.
place. Yeah.
Yes.
So they're like literally so different than Toxic Attraction, and they're fighting everyone.
Do any of them have titles?
No.
Well, then they're
have-
very different from Toxic Attraction. Then.
We don't have tag titles on NXT anymore for women. So.
Oh my goodness! How far have we fallen since the glory days?
Honestly, literally so far from where we were.
It's true. Tell me about it, girl.
Yeah.
So I think we have to do a whole show as those characters one day. Don't know when, but we will.
Hey, you know what though?
What?
If you
Tell me what.
maybe a little bit more professional of a voiceover situation than us. I know it's hard to believe.
Yeah.
Hard to believe, but we'll tell you about Hooked in Voiceovers. Our own Matthew Hooks, a valued member of the SGS, who has his own wonderful and thriving voiceover business, where he might not be able to deliver you White Girl from California in the same way that I can, but he probably could.
Right.
You can check out all of his incredible voiceover work at hookedinvoiceovers.com. You could email him at hookedinvoiceovers@gmail.com to learn more, but he has his commercial demo up on his website. He has his narration demo up on his website. He can do it all. He's got a studio that can help you with pre-production and post-production. Any style you want, anything you need, audiobooks, radio, imaging, commercials, promos, corporate, learning. He's got you covered. He's worked with national and international brands. He's got it all. So head over to hookedinvoiceovers.com, chat him up in the chat, and get a quote. If you have a business or something that needs some voiceover, you can go to his website and get a free quote there. So, literally, I don't know if he's like as good as we are at this exact one thing that I can do. But he really does do incredible work.
Nobody
You should
is.
check out his demos. There's some really good stuff on there that you can hear him reading. So check it out.
Jamebeard says, my sides hurt from laughing so much at that convo. Bravo, you two. I give you a standing ovation for that.
Oh my gosh, I hope you don't have to go to a local medical facility because your side hurts so much.
Speaking of a guy who spent a lot of time in local medical vicinities, CM Punk decided to come out and be like, wow, guys. Do you remember last night how I was selling a grade 2 bead throat? I had so many beads in my throat a couple of weeks ago that I could not speak normally last night. Tonight I'm fine. So a couple of sucrets, I'm all good. I just thought I'd come out here and talk about how great all of you are, totally just pander to all these fans. And then I thought what I would do is just name all of the recent NXT people that I can think of right now whose names I know. So let's just start out with Carmelo Hayes, Braun Breaker, Ethan Page, Trick Williams, Javon Evans. What's the tall guy? Dijak? Is he still around? No? Ooh.
He did name Lexus King and Ethan Page.
Yeah, he did.
Notably both from AEW that he had previously known. It's like,
Yeah,
I don't
he
know
did.
how big of a fan of this brand you are, though.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
okay.
It was like I watch every week this brand. Here are all the 6 people's name I can mention. And he had a big announcement to make, but then he didn't make it because Roxanne interrupted him. And then said that I actually liked your wife better than you, even though you're one of my favorites. And then she says I should have been a Drew McIntyre fan.
That's right.
And then Punk decides he's gonna try and clap back at her with something about how oh, well, Bianca and Io had a great match last night. You know who would fit in perfectly would be Roxanne, but it won't matter if you lose to Julia in 2 weeks. And then Julia comes out and she says to Roxanne, "Your days are numbered" or something. Countdown starts now. Do. In 2 weeks, you'll lose your title. And then Punk has to put an arm in between them so they don't fight. And then Punk just leaves, and I'm like, "What was your big announcement?" I thought for sure that because Roxanne was actively talking shit to him, that he just like HBK told me I can do whatever I want on the show tonight. So I thought that because Roxanne was talking shit to him, he was like, "I'm gonna be the special guest referee for your match." And I was like, when he didn't say that, I was like, oh, thank God. Maybe he won't actually actively insert himself into a talk program on NXT. And so later in the night, we got Tyrese Halliburton doing a thing with the contract. And then he says, oh, but one more thing. And then CM Punk comes out. And CM Punk says, this match needs a special guest referee, and it's going to be me. And since I'm the referee for that match, I don't care if you guys start fighting right now. CM Punk is going to be the special guest referee on October 1st. He has the match to end all matches versus Drew McIntyre later, like literally 5 days later, 4 days later. Ethan Page's most recent title defense also had a special guest referee. If every match has a special guest referee, guess what? It's no longer special. It's no longer special.
And Seth was the special guest referee for Drew and Punk's match. Like, enough. It's also for me one of my least favorite stipulations of the world. Yeah. And this time it's particularly egregious because CM Punk doesn't have a stake with Trick or Ethan. Like, he doesn't have loyalties to either guys. What does he gain from not calling it down the middle? He's not going to be on NXT, I don't think, anytime soon. That seems like a bad use of CM Punk to have him actively wrestling against Ethan Page or something, so feels bad. It just went on way too long. That segment was so long. And man, I'm really tired of happy-go-lucky CM Punk. And everyone thinks like, yeah, it's just because you like AEW. I miss the CM Punk that was in WWE 12 years ago or whatever. I miss the CM Punk that was cool. Happy-go-lucky CM Punk sucks. Like, I'm so bored of like, this place is so great and everything is great. And let me tell you about these great people and these great names. Like, when he said to Roxanne, "May I retort?" Like, what are we doing? You're not building to a match with Roxanne.
No, I know.
This was so bizarre, and I'm so sick of just like.
But here's the deal. I thought because she was actively like trying to get heat off of him, that he was going to be like, "I'm going to be the special guest referee for your match. So now you might get a comeuppance because I will help Julia win."
Right.
That's as close as he can get to working a program with Roxanne, who they're jarring back and forth with. As far as I can tell, he's had no interaction with either Trick or Ethan prior to the main event slot tonight. So like, none of this needs to be a special guest referee. It doesn't have to be that at all.
A special guest referee where you have no vested interest in either competitor is even worse than one where you do, which is already boring. So I hate that stipulation. That's right up there with lumberjack matches for me as things like if I saw 0 of them ever again, I would not be sad about it. And And in this context, I think it makes particularly no sense. I get from a business perspective why they're doing it. CM Punk, Chicago, CW, that makes sense. Have him be the host for that night. Have him be a special ring announcer. Like, enough with the special guest referees and so many title defenses and so many shenanigans. It gets really, really old. And this segment, for two people who can't have a match, the fact that this went on this long was like, oh, brother. Like, wrap it up already. Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for Julia and Roxanne, and this whole promo was between CM Punk and Roxanne for some reason. Like, we didn't build anything with Julia.
No, we didn't.
It's very weird.
Meet Norma says, just think of what NXT Punk era will look like. FFS. Yes, FFS. Is what I have to say about this. So, everybody talking about era. Oh, it's the ego era, the whoop that era, aura, all these things.
I was gonna say it's era or aura.
It's era aura is what it is right now. We had an aura of era. So SummerSlam says. So Luis says that SummerSlam got a special guest referee. NXT No Mercy got a special guest referee, and next week will too. It's not next week; it's 2 weeks from now. Next week they're doing a press conference during NXT next week. The last episode of NXT on USA has Kalani Jordan versus Matt Ren Sinclair, and the Waller effect, the special guest Nathan Frazier and Axiom, and Ridge beating the hell out of Milesy Osborne, and then a press conference featuring Julia and Roxanne and Ethan and Trick.
If they're gonna be true to press conferences, everybody should have to wait around for 20 minutes and be bored.
Luis says, to quote the wonderful and insightful words of T-Pain, do something else!
Yeah.
It's just because HBK was very famously a special guest referee on multiple occasions and cannot do anything but book his greatest hits.
But you don't have to put the same one on repeat, bro.
No, you don't. You certainly do not.
It's also a crappy one to do. Like, special guest referees usually stink, and doing one where there's no vested interest in anybody is the worst. That's stupid.
Puns and then jukebox and we're out.
Okay.
Oh, no, wait. I lied. Because people sent in sour chats last night that I didn't get to because we were busy popping ourselves. And so I didn't get to the sour chat, so I'm going to read them now.
We also didn't really talk about the main event segment, did we? We talked about the contract signing part.
I mean, what about it? Tyrese Halliburton stood there and they signed the contract. They yelled things about how I'm better than you. No, I'm better than you. It's a damn contract signing. What the hell? What did you see in it that was different?
Well, that's where Punk fully became the special guest referee for that match.
That's what I said.
And
then
he
came out and he said,
fight.
"Yeah."
And then they fought.
And that was it.
And then
they got held back.
Security held them apart.
And then they were going. That's it.
I feel like if somebody says let them fight, security shouldn't come out.
No, yeah, but unfortunately,
it's silly. It's the opposite of letting them fight.
It is the opposite. Yesterday during the day, Cyclo sent in literally only saw the last 3 minutes of Collision where outjobbers saved FTR from GYV. Wasn't until today I realized GYV freaking lost to FTR and got wrecked by outjobbers. How is this tag division as mid as Revolution 2023? Listen, I'm going to be started about this. I'm going to go off forever. But then he also says, literally only saw, how is Damian versus Dom the main event on the same card with Meat versus Meat and a tag title match? I'm definitely not concerned that my earlier sour chats are going to be incredibly inaccurate by the end of the night. Realistically, does the JD feud end at BB, Bud Blood? I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think so. MD Cyclo also earlier in the day said, can't believe that you and Kate predicted a ring collapsing spot for Bronson and Braun Strowman perfectly. No, they didn't do it for the main
Sadly,
event.
did not happen.
Raw was really good tonight, not gonna lie. He sent this hours before. Mainly because New Day ended this horrific reign of Hananina na 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 na. And we can do American Loaves versus New Day. No, we can't because they didn't do it.
I love the poorly aged chats. They pop me.
Yes, they're very funny. And then I think there was one more that I missed, which was the last one last night from Meet Enormous that says, I want Gunther to be ready on site for any challenger. He should squash people in a tight V-neck, khakis, and loafers if he doesn't have his gear. I thought the HHH would book people the way they were before the 2.0 packs of ass days. No, unfortunately not.
It would seem
Unfortunately not. Unfortunately not. Now let's do puns.
Okay.
Tom LaValle says Benihana Kimura.
Oh.
And I would, to make it funnier, say Benihana ni na 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 na. Benihana ni na 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 na. Benihana ni na 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 na. Benihana na. Benihana ni na na. Thank you.
I think leave those ones to me.
Fine. Fine. ENR says Bam Bam Beverage Cart. Chris Pereira says Panera El Zero Miedo. Louisville says Bam Bam Big Boylo.
Very good.
Bam Bam Big Boyo. There you go. ENR says Bistroba Femi.
Very nice.
ENR says Chase Menu. Chris
That's very
Pereira
simple.
says
I like
the Cheesecake Nightmare Factory. Jambeard says Bam Bam Burger King. Zach Starbucks Jr.
Very nice.
ENR says Nation of Reservations. Chris Pereira says Zaxby's Saber Jr.
Wow. Well
Annie
done.
Brown, not Dave and Buster's, but Dave and Batista's.
Very good.
Chris Pereira says The Hardys, Matt and Jeff. Also known as Matt and Jeff Carl's Jr. on the West Coast. Meet Normus says Bob's Big Bronson Reed Boy. I swerve when I drive through. Cheesecake Nightmare Factory, famous Dave Batista's Barbecue, and Chelsea Sweetgreen. Chris Pereira took mine. That was the one I immediately thought of, was Apple Beaches.
Very good.
Jambeard says Toothless Tim Hortons. Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A night. Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A night. Lovefro says the Don Quiznos family. Blackpool Catering Club.
Very nice.
Lieutenant Colonel Photo, Sasha Banks, it's Boston market time. Chris Pereira says Alundra Blaze Pizza.
Very nice.
Jambeard says Jimmy Yang Wangstop. Mid Norma says Longhorns Steakhouse of Black.
Very nice.
EOS Skyline Chili. Arby's All In. Arby's Allen. There we go. Darby Allen. Arby's Allen. Arby's All In is what I said. Briscoe's Chicken and Waffles. Javon Bob Evans. And Randy Tim Ortons.
Oh my gosh, that's right there. Well done.
Just Ricardo says one Wingstop Angel. Mustafa Aliberto's King Burga.
Very nice.
JW Pringle says Waffle House of Black. Tom LaValle says In and Out Runners. Meat Norma says Pennsylvania Fried Chicken, PFC. And and Tatum Zaxby's.
That's really good too.
Just Ricardo says Taters, Burgers, and Tots for limited time at Sonic's.
Very nice.
Meet Norma says Dolph Sizzler. White Dalton Castle. And Taya Cafeteria. It's Taya Valkyria. Taya Valkyrie?
Cafeteria.
There. Lyra Cafeteria. Because wouldn't it be Taya Cafeteria? Taya Valkyrie. Taya Valkyrie? How? My brain's not working. Love Fro says Beast Nando's.
Very nice.
Bussy King. Hell in a Cell's Kitchen.
Very nice.
C. Delgado 6 says The Bad Applebee's, Brian Keith, and Amazing Red Lobster. Meet Normus says Oba Femi versus Gunther is a meaty mania main event. I mean, that's not really a pun, but yes, I agree. True Infamous says Texas Roadhouse Black.
Very nice.
Jess Ricardo says The Waffle House always wins. Julia Hart will say that one night. True Infamous says, Whose house? Texas Roadhouse.
Hope it doesn't burn down.
No. True Infamous says, Sin Carabas.
Very nice.
Meet Norma says...
Formerly Sin Carabas.
Yes. Meet Norma says, Braun Bistroman. And Star Young Bucks. Trouble in Cheeseburger in Paradise. Ted DiBiase's Montana Grill. And then he says, I'm roughly the same build as Long John Silver's.
Lucky.
True Infamous says Applebee's Knees. Chickies and Pete Dunn's. Meet Norma says Baskin Robin Renegade. Sonic Nemeth. Teletric Mayhem says Colt Cabenigans.
Very good.
And Chuck E. Taylor. Jay Miller says, I love that episode of South Park where Butters really wants to go to Bennigan's. Come on down to Bennigan's. We got good food at Bennigan's. Jay Miller says breakfast at Tiffany Stratton's and Papa Shango's Pizza. Meet Norma says Bobby Bonefish Grill. Kanosuke to Restaurant. Lieutenant Colonel Photo. Chick-fil-A Town Down. True Infamous says Jeff Hardy's. Dwayne the Hard Rock Cafe Johnson. Electric Mayhem says the Beast Mortos Shrimp Company. Electric Mayhem says Yucca de Beppo. Carabadons. And Rio Tuscan Grill.
Carabadons is really good.
Carabadons is really good. Lieutenant Colonel Photo says TJI New Days. Jess Ricardo says Cafe Rio, the Tribal Chipotle. Meet Norma says Coca Sacoa, Psycho Denny's, Muscle Dave and Buster's. True Infamous says Five Guys Knuckle Shuffle. True Infamous says One Buffalo Wild Winged Angel. Jesse Ozog says, for my Vestal, New York homies, the Lost Big Dog Cafe.
Oh, that's a local
Love Fro,
for me.
Love Ro says, Rhea is my Wakamami. Luis Polito says, Brian Keith, BK. Smoothie Ray Bucanero. And, of course, JD McDonald's.
Very good.
I don't think I already did that one. Meet Norma says TMD KFC.
Very nice.
Hackshaw Gym Drive-In. Home of the Whopper Niven. Happy Meal and a Match. Domino's Surrender. Hash D-Lo Browns. Papa John Moxley. Thank you, guys. You're the best.
Thank you so much.
Jambeard says NXT has a booking error aura. A booking error aura. A booking error aura. A booking era aura. There, that's what I did.
If they book Aura Mensa erroneously, is it an Aura era aura?
Yeah, it is. Perhaps. It's a aura error era aura.
turning into green eggs and ham.
It really is. Cyclo, because last night Kate said PPF Changs is pronounced Pf Changs, and I lost my mind.
PFF Changs, right?
But you said PPF Changs. That's what you said, because it was Philip Paul Fleming's Changs.
That's right.
Changs. Changs. Hold on. Dominic's Pizza and Papa Shango John's.
Very good. Very good.
All right. Some jukeboxes. JW Pringle says Tony D sings the Saved by the Bell theme. When I wake up in the morning and the alarm gives out a warning, I don't think I'll ever make it on time. By the time I grab my books and I give myself a look, I'm at the corner just in time to see the bus fly by. It's all right, 'cause I'm saved by the bell. If the T-pill pops a test, I know I'm in a mess, and my dog ate all my homework last night. Riding low in my chair, she won't know what I'm there. If I can hand it in tomorrow, it'll be all right. It's all right, 'cause I'm saved by the bell.
That was beautiful.
Gabagool. Jay Beard wants the California Girl, a.k.a. the Nya, to sing Nothing Matters by The Last Dinner Party. So if you can open that one up, I'm going to do one in the meantime.
I already have it open because I was worried my mouse was going to be insane, so I wanted to be
fine.
prepared.
Yeah, please, by all means.
I have my sentence now at last. I know just how you felt. I dig my fingers in expecting more than just skin, because we're a lot alike in favor like a motorbike. A sailor and a nightingale dancing convertibles. I'm not going to read the rest of this because it gets very inappropriate. Sorry. Not happening.
Nope.
Read the rest of the lyrics and it's not appropriate. I don't want to get us demonetized.
Jambeard then wants Papa Pulowski to sing Alice's Restaurant Massacre by Arlo Guthrie.
Oh my goodness. I think did we get this one before?
I don't know.
I feel like we got this one before.
You can get anything you want at Alice's Restaurant. You can get anything you want at Alice's Restaurant. Rock right in. It's round the back, just a half mile from the railroad track. You can get anything you want at Alice's Restaurant. Now, it all started 2 Thanksgivings ago. It was 2 years ago on Thanksgiving when my friend and I went up to visit Alice at the restaurant. But Alice doesn't live in the restaurant. She lives in the church nearby the restaurant, in the bell tower with her husband Ray and Fasha the dog. And living in the bell tower like that, they got a lot of room downstairs where the pews used to be in. And having all that room, seeing as how they took out all the pews, they decided they didn't have to take out their garbage for a long time. When we got up there, found all the garbage in there, and we decided it'd be a friendly gesture for us to take the garbage down to the city dump. So we took a half a ton of garbage, put it in the back of a red VW microbus, took shovels and rakes and implements of destruction and headed on toward the city dump. Well, we got there, and there's a big sign and a chain across the dump saying closed on Thanksgiving, and we had never heard of a dump closed on Thanksgiving before. And with tears in our eyes, we drove off into the sunset looking for another place to put the garbage. We didn't find one. What?
Beautiful.
So, let's see here. Anything? Here we go. All right. Yeah. Okay. It's me. Hello.
Hello, Dusty.
It's right. The Lieutenant Colonel Photo wants me to sing Cheeseburger in Paradise by Jimmy Buffett, the late, great Jimmy Buffett. You know what? One time we hired him to come and play one of our cruises.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, he doesn't live here, obviously. This is wrestler heaven, but rock and roll heaven can get into wrestler heaven just, for on a day path.
That makes sense.
Tried to amend my carnivorous habits. Made it nearly 70 days, losing weight without speed, eating sunflower seeds, drinking lots of carrot juice and soaking up rays. But at night, I'd have these wonderful dreams. Some kind of sensuous treat. Not zucchini, fettuccine, or bulgur wheat, but a big warm bun and a huge hunk of meat. Cheeseburger in paradise, baby. Heaven on earth with onion slice. Not too particular, not too precise. I'm just a cheeseburger in paradise, baby. Heard about the old time sailor man, they eat the same thing again and again. Warm beer and bread, they say, could raise the dead. Well, it reminds me of the menu at a Holiday Inn, but times have changed. For sailors these days, hard times. When I'm in port, I get what I need, not just Havanas or bananas or daiquiris, but that American creation on which I feed is a cheeseburger in paradise. Medium rare with mustard be nice. Heaven on earth with onion slice, I'm just a cheeseburger in paradise, baby. If you will.
And I will.
All right, well, I got to go back to the great beyond.
Hey, before you do, can you wish our friend Alan in the chat a happy birthday?
Happy birthday, Alan.
Thank you so much.
Many happy returns of the day. Hello, Alan. It's me, it's Ricky Rainbow.
Oh my gosh, hi, Ricky.
Or got no more sent in. It's just going to be me, and then we're gone. So
take us home, baby.
Orion Ben says Ricky recites "Drink Need No Mix" by Shabuzi. I was feeling kind of Shabuzi on Saturday night, if you know what I mean.
Hey.
Got so drunk, he hit his head on the sidewalk, but he gonna be all right. I just left Whiskey Row 30 minutes ago, and he's still seeing neon lights. Drive up to the dive bar, get PBR. That's just how we start our nights. I see them bachelorettes on Broadway, and they all want to be my wife. I'm trying to flex. Truck bed made of cedar wood. It's where I kept my checks, eh? We just got it painted, baby. Please don't make a mess. Look inside my cup. I'm so confused. Where's the rest? Oh, shit. Don't forget, the drink don't need no mix. What the fuck is this? Trying to get faded, baby. This ain't gonna do shit. The drink don't need no mix. I need more than this. I'm trying to get faded, baby. This ain't gonna do shit. This drink don't need no mix. Thank you.
That was a very peppy little cover. It had a lot of bounce to it.
Thank you.
Love that for you.
Meek Normus wants Ricky Rainbow to sing the Chili's Baby Back Rib song. So, here it is. I want my baby back, baby back, baby back. I want my baby back, baby back, baby back. I want my baby back, baby back, baby back. I want my baby back, baby back. Chili's baby back ribs. Chili's baby back ribs. Barbecue sauce. I want my baby back, baby back, baby back. I want my baby back, baby back, baby back. Chili's baby back ribs. Chili's baby back ribs. Barbecue sauce. Thank you.
That was beautiful.
Finally, Tom LaValle wants to say, Ricky, sing Tom's Diner by Suzanne Vega. Thank you. I'm sitting in the morning at the diner on the corner. I'm waiting at the counter for the man to pour the coffee, and it feels it only halfway, and before I even argue, he is looking out the window at somebody coming in. It is always nice to see you, says the man behind the counter. 'Tis the woman who is coming. She's shaking her umbrella, and I look the other way, and they are kissing their hellos, and I'm pretending not to see them, and instead I pour the milk. I open up the paper. There's a story of an actor who had died while he was drinking. It was no one I had heard of, and I'm turning to the horoscope and looking for the funnies while I'm feeling someone watching me, and so I raise my head. There's a woman on the outside looking inside. Does she see me? No, she does not really see me, because she sees her own reflection, and I'm trying not to notice as she's hitching up her skirt, and while she's straightening her stockings, her hair has gotten wet. Oh, this rain, it will continue through the morning as I'm listening to the bells in the cathedral. I am thinking of your voice and of the midnight picnic once upon a time before the rain began. And as I finish up my coffee, it's time to catch the train.
I just want to remind the chat, like, you're not required to be here. You don't
No,
like
you
what we're
can
doing.
leave.
Yeah, we
You
do
can
this at
leave.
the end.
We
Weirdo.
we don't do this in the entire show. We just
We
do it
should,
at
though.
the end.
We should do it
We
for the
we
entire
should
show.
just to make people like VC very angry.
BC is very
Very
S-E-E.
angry. Very angry.
A-N-G-R-E-Y.
Yeah.
G-R-Y. Dyslexia. Womp womp.
Is he A-N-G-R-Y or is he U-G-L-Y? Because he ain't got no alibi.
Oh my goodness, sick burn.
Right. Well,
Boom.
thank you!
Yeah.